recap, Jed here from Retiring Disgracefully. I'm just down here, as you can see, at Wahin Beach. Still using my phone as a camera for taking videos for my YouTube channel. Not working out very well, so I'm just going to do some short videos now, but not about Thailand, not about Wahin. It's just too hard with a phone camera for me to go out and film. Maybe for others they're okay with it, but I can't get it. So I'm going to just do some small videos about different things that attracts my attention. It's about 6:30 on a morning now. Sun's come up. People down here, early morning walks. Get a lot of people exercising. Some very beautiful ladies and a couple of horses down here early looking for customers. It's the weekend. A little bit busier now because people come down from Bangkok for the weekend. They normally go back Sunday afternoon, Sunday night to Bangkok, and then it gets quiet again until next week. So today's video, I watched on the news yesterday and looked on some of the newspapers here, and it's the Queen's Jubilee back in the UK. Now, I'm born in Britain. I spent most of my life in Australia. 2/3 of my life was probably spent in Australia, but I'm still consider myself British. Okay, well, not even British. I consider myself English, the same as the Scots consider themselves Scottish, and the Welsh considers themselves from Wales. When I talk, I always say, oh, I'm from England. I never say UK or Great Britain, but I understand that the Queen rules all of them, and it's her Jubilee, 70 years on the throne, and I'm 70 as well. I was 70 last November, so I would have been about 6 months old when the Queen was crowned the Queen of the Commonwealth and the UK. There's nothing much I can say bad about the Queen. I think she's a wonderful person, and she's a credit to the royal family. I'm not too keen on some of them. I don't like all the hangers-on. There's hundreds of lords and ladies who you know, take from the public purse and don't really do anything, and that goes, you know, sort of right the way up to some of the more high-ranking royals. A lot of people in the UK are anti-royalists. I'm not one of them. I don't love the monarchy. I sort of sit on the side a little bit, I suppose. I don't mind them. They're very good for tourism. I don't see a lot of other purpose of it, but they've been around for centuries, and why should that change? There's some things I don't like about it, but there's quite a bit that I do like about it. I like the Queen. I think she's a wonderful ambassador for the UK, and does a lot of good, and she's loved in a lot of the Commonwealth countries. I used to like Prince Harry. I thought he was, when he was one of the lads, when he was you know, joking and laughing, and you know, you could think yourself, well, he's just the same as I was when I was that age, but not now, not since he's got married and some of the things he did when he went to the USA and lived. I don't like that about the royal family. I think he's not part of it now, and I don't see why he should be involved in all this because he chose to walk away. Having said that, families, they'll always stick together, and the royal family are no different. Yes, they've welcomed him back. It's the British people, a lot of them aren't that keen on his antics and how he's treated the royal family, how he's treated his grandmother. I think a lot of people were put off by that. I watched some of the big show last night, all the lights being lit up, and all the different artists. Queen were there playing for the Queen. I loved Queen when they had Freddie Mercury up front with them. Probably one of the best bands of the 70s, but when Freddie died, I think the Queen died with them, really, I think. And I've seen, last night was somebody, Lambert, wasn't that keen on that, but when my old mucker Paul Rogers was with them, he did a little stint with them for a while, I liked them better then, but there again, I'm biased, I suppose. As for Rod Stewart, sorry Rod, I think it's time you retired. The voice is gone. You know, you're still an entertainer in some ways, but really, if you're going to be a singer, you do need a bit of a voice, and unfortunately that's gone. I loved Rod Stewart. Liked him when he was the lead singer in The Faces, when he took over from Stevie Marriott. Thought he was fantastic. Not many people can take over from you know, an icon like Stevie Marriott and make the band go even better, but he did, which was a surprise to everyone. I think everyone thought once Stevie Marriott left, then the Small Faces would die, but no, they just got bigger and bigger. I think that with rock stars, it should be that once you reach 65, you should have to retire. When I turned 65, working in the marine industry, working as a chef on board ships, once I reached 65, I had to retire. They thought anyone over 65 is a bit of a risk to be going to sea in case you have a problem and they can't get you off the ship for medical attention. So at 65, I had to retire, and I think that should be the same with rock stars. Except maybe one exception, maybe Keith Richards. Maybe he could keep going for a little while longer. They say that if there's ever going to be a nuclear war, only 2 species will survive, and that would be cockroaches and Keith Richards. It's an old joke, but it's probably pretty true, because the life he's had, and he's still alive and kicking, so he's done well. I think the Queen lives in a world with rose-tinted glasses. She doesn't really see the real world, I don't think. I remember 1994, we were back in the UK from Australia with my children. We lived in there for a few years. I was working over there, and the Queen came to Middlesbrough. She was there to, I think it was opening up a park, Pallister Park. I think they'd redone it. Pallister Park is a council area of Middlesbrough with a lot of council houses, and she came to visit and open up something. So I took my children down there to hopefully see her. We got a little glimpse, but the crowds were so many that we only just a glimpse, just the car going past and the hand waving. But what I noticed was when she came was I'd been up that way a week or so before, and it looked pretty dismal. But the day she arrived, there was all the streets that she was going to be walking down or driving down. They'd put large plant pots outside, or you know, hundreds and hundreds of them along the road with beautiful flowers or shrubbery out of them, and it looked beautiful. And they also, along the roads, because it was a council estate, all the houses that were going to be passed by the Queen on her route to open up the park, they'd all been painted outside. They all looked beautiful, but you go around the corner where she wasn't going to go, and they were just the normal shabby, hadn't been painted for years. But that was the impression I got. Yeah, you know, the Queen comes and they put a big show on for her to make it look as if Middlesbrough is the best town in the world. But the day after, the council trucks came round and picked all the plant pots up and took them away. I don't know where they took them to, probably waiting for the next official to come, maybe Prime Minister, or then they'll bring them all out again, which seems a bit sad. I think also that if they could have, they probably would have peeled the paint off the council houses if they could have, if it would have made them a few dollars, but at least they didn't go that far. They let the people keep the paint. Another thing I thought was a little bit odd was when Prince William got up to make his speech. I think he should have just, you know, said something nice about his grandmother, the Queen, but he had to virtue signal. He had to bring into it the climate change and things like that. And he's entitled to his opinion, same as everyone. Don't get me wrong, but I thought it was the wrong time for it. But even so, if you can have an opinion on it, you can't just virtue signal. You can't just say, oh, you know, do as I say, not as I do. I mean, the royal family, they jet around the world in private jets. They go from their estate in the country in private helicopters. When they travel with an entourage of security, maybe 10 cars, and not electric cars at that. They're gas guzzling cars, 10, or if they're in London and going from the palace to somewhere, they're accompanied by about 10 motorbikes and 10 police cars to take them from A to B. So, you know, and they travel around the world all the time, you know, flying here, flying there, which is part of their job. They go to Commonwealth countries to, you know, obviously show the face of the crown, and fair play to them. I've got no problem with that. That's what they should do. But if they're going to do that, they can't really go up on a stage and then preach to people about, you know, climate change and save the planet. They're living in a 15-bedroom mansion, maybe 5-6 bathrooms, only 2 of them, and their staff, of course. And they're preaching to someone who lives in a 2-bedroom council house with 1 bathroom to conserve electricity because of climate change. The Queen, if you look at Buckingham Palace, you look at it at night time, not just last night, yeah, there's going to be all the lights on, but you look at nighttime photos of Buckingham Palace, every light's on in the palace. There's only the Queen's living there. I mean, Philip's not even living there anymore. So, you know, if you're going to preach that, fine. But you got to live it as well, not just talk, not just do as I say, not as I do. And unfortunately, that's the same with Prince. Oh, I won't call him Prince. I don't think he's a prince anymore because of he quit all that, apparently. You wouldn't know it because I think they still call themselves that. But Harry and Meghan, they're very much the same. They live in a fantastic big mansion in California. They travel around USA all the time, going to different places to get their face seen on Netflix, and they, you know, they travel first class or private plane or private helicopter. And when they go around, look at how many cars are behind them. They're in 1 car and there's 6 cars behind them full of security. And they're the same, always virtue signalling, always saying about the climate and, you know, what's to blame for the climate? Well, obviously cars, aeroplanes, but they don't mind driving around in them, but they don't want you to drive around in them. Try and make me feel bad if I want to fly back to Australia to see my family every couple of years. So that's my take on it. As I say, I'm not against royal family. I'm all for them. Well, some of them. I think, yes, there should be a royal family. We've had one for, oh, many hundreds of years. You know, we're talking 800, 900 years probably of royalty. I have no problem with that. I have a big problem with so many of them. All these lords and ladies and people who hangers on because they're taking money from the public purse, the taxes of your average person, and don't contribute. I don't see what some of these people do except go hunting and talk in posh voices and go to all these parties, and everyone loves to be seen with them. And that's what I don't like about the royal family. If it was just the Queen and the late Prince Philip and their immediate family, then fair enough. But, you know, when all these hundreds of lords and ladies and cousins of the princes, I don't like that. I think that you've got to stop somewhere and try and save a bit of money in this day and age. The country's going to hell in a handcart, or the world's going to hell in a handcart. You know, maybe it's time for them to tighten their belts a little bit and help the country to get through these problems that we're having. So that's my whinge for the day. You know, I think it's just maybe get a little bit of a a debate going. If you're going to answer and you don't agree, that's fine. I love constructive criticism, but please keep it nice. Yeah, I'd like to hear your opinion, but not if you're going to be abusive. I think that's the problem nowadays. A lot of people in this woke society, they love to say what they want to say, and we're supposed to just listen and agree. But if we disagree, then we're the problem. And I don't see myself as a problem. I've lived on this earth for many years, and I've seen the UK go from a great country into not so great country now. And I've seen Thailand the same. Thailand's suffering badly, Australia's suffering badly. So a lot of the countries aren't doing so well. But we need to address that properly, and just virtue signalling and blaming it all on the climate is not, for me, the way to go. Hopefully soon I'll be getting back to my normal videos of showing you around Thailand and showing you around all these beautiful places that you can see behind me, and I can't wait for that. Hopefully in the next week I'll either be in Australia, because that's looking on the cards now. I spoke to them by phone. You wouldn't believe it. I was on the phone, as you are, half an hour listening to pipe music. Suddenly they answered the phone, and I told them my problem. I wanted to speak to someone about my pension, and they took all my details. Then they said, oh, okay, well, I can't help you with this department. I'll transfer you. I said, okay, thank you. Next thing, I get cut off. They pushed a button and it cut me off. So that was half an hour wasted. Then I thought, okay, I'll try again. I rang back and I told the lady on the phone, I said, look, this has just happened to me. I got cut off. She said, oh, no problem, what is it, what do you want? And I told her about the problem I was having with my pension. And she said, okay, I'll just put you on hold while I look through your paperwork. She clicked a button at her end, same thing happened, got cut off. So I gave up then. I'll wait now until maybe Monday or Tuesday, give them another call if I haven't heard from them. But I'm thinking that by the weekend of next weekend, I'll probably have to go back and try and sort it out. Seems crazy when you've got to fly 8,000 kilometres just to sort out maybe a 10-minute problem, but it seems to be the way things are. When you're on these phone calls, no one takes responsibility. Everybody wants to pass you on to someone else, and it's very hard to solve by telephone or by sending your documents through the government agency's website. Things just seem to stop. I think when you walk in there to an office, you see someone, you sit down, and they either solve the problem or they don't. And if they don't, at least they give you a reason for it. And that's the problem I've got. I can't find a reason why they've done this to me. So that's the plan. Thanks very much for watching. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, push the thumbs up button, and tell your friends about this channel if you think it's a decent channel that they might enjoy. Okay, that's all for now. Cheers. See you in the next video.